Hey guys, welcome back to another new video. Senvik Loguru welcomes you. So today in this video we'll be discussing the difference between theft and extortion. In the previous videos I have discussed theft and extortion, its punishment, its essential ingredients, examples, case laws in individual videos. So today our topic is difference between theft and extortion. Before starting this video, if you have not subscribed my channel, please go subscribe so that you all get IPC lectures regularly. So let's start our video. I have made a table of difference between theft and extortion. If you want to write down or note down this table, you can. So first of all, we will come to theft. Section 378 of the Indian Penal Code defines theft. It says, whoever intending to take dishonestly any movable property out of the possession of any person without that person's consent moves that property in order to such taking is said to commit theft. What it means? It means whoever, any person, anyone who has taken any property of someone else, with dishonest intention and without that person's consent, and if that person has moved that person's property from its original position, then that person is said to commit theft. Let me take an example for your better understanding. Supposedly, if there are two persons A and B, A enters the house of B with dishonest intention to take B's laptop that is on the table. A enters into B's house with dishonest intention in taking B's laptop out of B's possession without B's consent. If A moves that property, if A moves that laptop from its original position at table, if he moves that laptop, he is said to commit theft. On the other hand, in extortion, Section 383 of the Indian Penal Code defines extortion. It says, whoever intentionally puts any person in fear of any injury to that person or to any other, and thereby dishonestly induces the person so put in fear to deliver to any person any property or valuable security or anything signed or sealed which may be converted into a valuable security commits extortion. Now what it means? It means whoever, any person, anyone who intentionally puts another person in fear of injury, or that person threatens another person of any injury and thereby dishonestly induces or forces another person or deliver any property or valuable security or anything signed or sealed which may converted into a valuable security commits extortion. Let me take an example. If there are two persons A and B, A enters B's house with a knife. A shows B or A threatens B that you have to give me certain amount of money. If you do not give, I will harm you or kill you. There is threatening. A is threatening B by showing knife. Here B is induced or he is forced to do so. Forced to do what? Forced to deliver the property or deliver the money, the certain amount of money A is demanding. So here when B delivers the property to A, then A has committed extortion. It can be money, it can be any movable property, or it can be immovable property like the documents of land or documents of a house, flat, apartment, anything. Next point. In theft, property taken out without consent of the owner. What happens in theft? In theft, property is taken out without the consent or permission of the owner. But in extortion, the consent of or the permission of the owner is obtained, but wrongfully. How wrongfully? By the offender or the person who induces another person. he forces or threatens that person, another person, to deliver the property. Next, theft may be only in respect of movable property. What are the movable property in theft? We will discuss in next video. So theft may be only in respect of movable property, but in extortion the property may be either movable or immovable. Like I have said that in immovable property it will contain the valuable security or anything signed or sealed, that is the documents of a plot of land or any apartment or any house or any flat, that can be immovable property. In theft there is no element of force, but in extortion property is obtained by putting a person in fear of injury, like I've said earlier, and thereby inducing another person or inducing the person who is being induced or threatened to part with his property or to deliver that property to the offender. And the last point, in theft there is no delivery of property by the owner. What happens in theft? In theft, the person who is committing theft, he himself takes the movable property out of the possession of that person or the owner without the consent. So here in this case, owner does not deliver the laptop to the thief. Here thief takes away the laptop himself. But in extortion, what happens? There is delivery of the property. In extortion, owner have to deliver the property which the offender or which the person who is committing extortion is demanding, like money or any movable property or any immovable property. Here the owner has to give. If he doesn't give that property, he will be harmed or injured as by the offender or the person who is committing extortion. I hope this all points are clear to you all. Next we will move forward to some example of theft. A being Z's servant and entrusted by Z with the care of Z's plate. A is the servant of Z. Z keeps some plate with A. What A does? A dishonestly runs away with the plate without Z's consent. Here A has committed theft. Extortion. A threatens to publish a defamatory libel concerning Z unless Z gives him money. He thus induces Z to give him money. A has committed extortion. In this case, A threatens Z that he will publish a defamatory statement or a defamatory libel concerning Z unless Z gives him certain amount of money. If he gives that certain amount of money, A will not publish. Therefore, A thus induces Z. Here A forces or threatens or induces Z to give him money. A has committed extortion. I hope all the points of the difference and the example are clear to you all. If you have any doubt, please do comment. If you like this video, press the like button, share it, subscribe for more such videos. For then, thank you, stay safe.